Hey guys, what's up? It's iFlynn here, and today we're going to be taking a look at my Rhino's Rhino Stomp build. And if you guys don't know what Rhino's Rhino Stomp build is, it's basically a build which allows you to CC enemies in the air for about 12 seconds, so you can basically do anything you want. It's really useful in defense missions, mobile defense missions, maybe even survival missions if someone goes down, the Law of Retribution, which is the 8-man raid, stuff like that. So this is usually the build that you would take in, and I would say this is a very easy build to sort of make as well, because all you really need is your range mod, so overextended, stretch, cunning drift, and then you need to have efficiency, so you want to have streamline, and then you throw on a little bit of duration, so in the form of continuity, constitution, very easy mods to obtain, at least in my opinion, and that is basically the build put together. So we're not going to be doing anything too insane. Rhino's still going to be like tanky. You're still going to be able to use things like his iron skin and stuff like that, although it's not going to be as effective because you haven't really got that much power strength on this build because of how overextend it affects power strength, so it's not going to be as good. But you're still going to have iron skin, you're still going to have your steel charge, you're still going to have roar. Again, not going to be great because you have like very little power strength. You see we have 40% power strength in this build, but you're still going to have it and you can still use it. It's not going to cost a lot and it's going to last a long time. It's also going to cover your allies as well because of the amount of range you have on there, so you can definitely still use it, and it's definitely still going to give you a damage boost, but the main focus is Rhino Stomp, and that's what I want to get across here. So we have overextended, stretch, and cunning drift, and these are the three mods that we're going to have on to increase our power range. Overextended gives a negative to power strength, but we're not building for power strength in this build at all, so we don't have to worry about that. Moving on, we have Vitality and Steel Fiber on here. This is to up the amount of effective HP that Rhino has. Rhino does have a large shield capacity as well, but shields usually aren't worth building for in this game because, one, they don't scale with armor, and two, some of the most deadly things in the game, like Toxin procs and Slash procs, they're just going to go through your shield anyway. So it doesn't matter if you have 0 shields, it doesn't matter if you have 1,000 shields, if you get hit by a Slash proc, it's going to directly affect your health. So that doesn't really matter. So you want to build more for health, you want to build for armor, and then that way you're going to be more tanky. So just keep that in mind. Next up, we're moving on to Prime Continuity and Constitution here. You can use regular continuity, and you can get that from Ukko in the Void from the little obstacle course rooms or the vault rooms. That's where I farm the regular version of it. And then Constitution you get from Nightmare missions. These are both duration mods. Will make it so that the enemies stay in the air for a longer amount of time. Prime Flu's on here, obviously, to make it so you have more energy. Pretty straightforward. And then last but not least, we have Streamline on here, max rank, and that gives us plus 30% more efficiency. We don't throw Fleeing Expertise on this build. You could throw it on if you really wanted to, if you wanted to have a more spammy Rhino Stomp build. So you could maybe swap this Streamline, you can make that there 1 from the top, and then throw on a 1 from the top Fleeing Expertise in place of this Constitution, and then that way you'd be able to spam the ability a lot more, but it would just last a shorter period of time. But I don't agree with those type of builds anymore because we have Energizing Dash, you have Energy Vampire Trinity, you have Energy Pieces. There's so many different ways to restore your energy. It just makes more sense to sort of build for more duration. That way you don't have to cast it as much. And then if you do need that energy back, well, then you have multiple ways to get it. Last but not least, we have Corrosive Projection on the Aura slot here. You can change this out for Energy Siphon if you really want to, just so you can spam it a lot more. And honestly, that would make a lot more sense because if you're building for a CC build, chances are you're not going in to kill the enemies anyway, unless you're doing something specific, okay? So I don't know, it's really down to you. Corrosive Projection will give you more damage versus obviously the Grenier units who have armor, so it just makes sense to run, and it's one of my favorite auras. So that's just my opinion, but I'm just going to go ahead and show you what this build actually does. So if we go ahead, we spawn in all these heavy gunners here, we spawn in 20 of them. We're going to make them level 150, just so I can demonstrate that it doesn't really matter about the enemy level. Your power strength doesn't matter at all. Go ahead, stimulate these guys, pick up our energy, and this is going to cost you 70 energy to cast per time, okay? And there you go. So you actually notice we did take a decent amount of damage there. I was able to pause the game and see how much energy we had to use while those guys were shooting at me. You can also cast your Iron Skin, like I said, and these guys are going to get up in about a couple seconds. You can cast your Iron Skin as well, and then you're going to absorb all the damage that these guys dish out. So there you go. You're basically invulnerable. And then obviously that's going to eat away at your little charge in the bottom right hand corner there of your Iron Skin. So you can still definitely use it to keep yourself alive versus those level 150 heavy gunners or bombards or whatever. Like the split second that it takes for your health to kind of just get like destroyed once they get up. Iron Skin can save you from that, and then you can obviously get energy and then cast your Rhino Stomp again to keep these guys in the air and then keep them in a constant loop. So it's actually a 14-second duration. Maybe it's a 15-second duration. I don't know. Maybe it runs up a little bit. Let's just go ahead and check here. So yeah, 14.6. So it's basically 15 seconds duration. They get a speed decrease. You see the range is 62.5. We're not building for damage, so it does 320 damage, and you can just keep them in a constant loop of constantly being crowd controlled. And this is great in mobile defense. This is great in the Law of Retribution. This is great in regular defense. Like, let's say you're not playing a DPS frame, you're just there to sort of support your team. It's definitely a good build for newer players to run, to blast through some of that star chart content, and it just makes like the entire game a lot easier. Like 300 and how much damage did I say it did? I think it said like 360 damage. Let me see, 320 damage. You know, that's a decent amount of damage for like just star chart content, if I'm being honest. Like, you know, you're gonna kill a few enemies just by pressing 4 with this build. Like, especially if you're going against something like the Infested or whatever, or maybe even the Corpus, those guys are just gonna die. The Grenier, a little bit different, but again, you're just keeping them in a constant loop of crowd control and not letting them get up. But realistically, it just comes down to how you keep your energy up. And how I keep my energy up is I use Energizing Dash. This little thing right here, so you're in your midget man mode, you do a little dash, you make this bubble around yourself, and then it restores your energy while you're inside it. And then once you leave it, you're going to get that energy regen, like 5 energy per second over the space of 30 seconds as well. So it's pretty good, pretty powerful, and I definitely recommend picking it up. But other than that, like, all you can do now is kind of just shoot them and deal damage or whatever. I think I have the wrong build in the Soma. Let's just go ahead and swap to like a different weapon or something here. So let's go to the Tigris Prime, I guess, because why not? It's the type of weapon I would use. Maybe, no, let's use the Vekor Heck. Why not? Vekor Heck seems fun at the minute. So I have radiation damage on there. We want to swap that. So let's just go ahead, change those two around, color it a little bit, you know, take a look at our build again, because why not? Get all of our stuff. And I also want to take a look at the abilities. The damage multiplier for Roar, damage increase 20%. 20% damage increase. No reason not to use that, you know, and it lasts for, how much does it last for? It lasts for 54.9 seconds, and it covers 62.5 meters. So, you know, you can cast that, being relatively close to your team. Go ahead, hit these guys, shoot them in the head, like so. Use our Roar, damage increase, because why not? Reload, just kind of shoot them in the head a little bit. Deal a bunch of damage. It's pretty cool, you know, pretty good. And then just reset them, put them back in the air again. Keep shooting them, because why not? I hope I have the right build in this. It doesn't really feel like I have the right build in this. I have Prime Ravage on? I forget. I didn't take a look at the build close enough, but yeah. This is how you kill the bad guys. You can throw on different stuff like Hunter munitions, etc. if you really wanted to. Implying you can throw it on shotguns, can you? Hunter munitions, you can. Okay, so, you know, chance to apply slash damage. Let's just go ahead and get rid of that and put this here. Put this here. I think that'd be pretty cool. Go ahead and kill enemies. Simulate these guys again. Get our stuff. Like so. Jump in the middle. Use Roar. Use your 4. And then you see all these slash procs, and these guys are going to die pretty quick as well. It's pretty good. I like it. Rest in peace all the bad guys. You have to be aiming for those headshots, of course. Get the headshot multiplier in there. These guys will die super quick. It's great. It's fun. I like it. So you guys can do what you want with a build. You can either build it spammy, so you can just spam it over and over again. You can copy my build. You can do pretty much whatever. And I would use this in somewhere like a Law of Retribution or, you know, mobile defense or whatever. I know I'm basically just repeating myself, but there's not a lot that you can really say about this build other than it's great and it's fun to use. It will get you through the low level content, like it will actually kill enemies low level. You don't really want to be building Rhino Stomp for power strength at all, because the damage just doesn't scale very well. Anytime you're building strength from Rhino, you're really going for your Roar build, which will increase the damage that your weapons deal and some other Warframe abilities if they happen to be in your squad. But that's kind of like a more complicated build because you have to take into consideration, well, you know, you're going to need a little bit of pyro range. You're going to have a buttload of duration. You're going to have a buttload of pyro strength, and fitting that all into the one build can sometimes be difficult. But it's whatever, you know. So you can basically just cast Rhino Stomp from wherever. You can spam it. You can just constantly recast it. It doesn't reset the timer if the enemy's in the air, so you have to wait for them to eventually fall down. So if I cast Rhino Stomp once, these guys will be in there for 14 seconds. And then once their 14 seconds is up, I have to recast it again. And then since this group over here, I have to recast it again. So it just keeps them in the air like that. And that's how you keep them in that constant loop. But other than that, guys, that is pretty much it for this video. If you enjoyed it, go ahead, hit that like button below. If you want to see more Warframe content from me, hit subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.